Hello, Stephen. We can hear you. Hello, Stephen. Are you speaking? We can't hear anything. Hello class, this is class manager Leona. So the teacher Steven is troubleshooting now. Sorry to keep you waiting. And please make sure you send the homework to Steven before the class starts, if you have any. Class, have you received any quizzes from Steven today? Samuel?
No.
Okay.
Can you hear me now? Oh wait, hold on, let me get out of this one. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So sorry, everybody. The third computer and a few different passwords finally worked. Okay, so it looks like we're here. Oh, now I gotta find the. Okay, now I just have to find all the other stuff from my other computer to get back to. Somebody give me the page. Annie, is Annie here? Hold on. And now I can't get back there. That's wonderful. How do I? Oh. What page are we on? Who all's here? Annie, what page are we on? For Invention of Morale, sorry.
I don't know. I quit the tab.
All right, let me look here.
Wait, I think it's 122.
122?
Yeah, like
Actually, I can find it right here.
110.
Oh, actually, I can do it on this computer. This it. This one should be it, right? Come on. I had it open. It should be open to the. Why is it not? 122, you said?
I don't know that word. Why?
All right, let me take a look. Take me a while to get down there. We'll just go without a break today. We'll go all the way through. Yeah, this looks. Two. I was especially careful to keep my spirit free from worries. No, I think it's 121, right? Does that sound right? 121? I'm looking at page 1. That's 21. Page 121. When I was ready, I turned on the receivers. Does that sound okay? Or does it sound like something we've read? I can't remember. Let's just start from there. If we reread, we reread. Page 121, very top. When I was ready. Annie, can you start reading from there?
When I was ready, I turned on the receivers of simultaneous action. 7 days have been recorded. I performed well. A casual observer would not suspect that I am not part of the original scene.
Stop. We've read this. Let me see. So you said 122. I did not trust you for some reason. I think you're right. Let's try 122. Start with on the next page, when I stood in front.
When I stood in front of the mirror of the screen, when I stood in front of the screen of mirrors, I discovered that I have no beard. I am bald. I have no nails or on my fingers or toes.
It's starting to happen to him, right? No fingers, no. I'm bald, no beard, outside in. Go ahead. Sorry.
My flesh is tinged with rose. My strength is diminishing. I have an absurd impression of the pain. It seems to be increasing, but I feel it less. My persistent, deplorable preoccupation with Morel's relationship to Faustine keeps me from paying much attention to my own destruction. That is an unexpected and beneficent result. Unfortunately, not all my thoughts are so useful. In my imagination, I am plagued by the hope that my illness is pure autosuggestion, that the machines are harmless, that Faustine is alive, and that soon I shall find her. But together we shall laugh at these false signs of impending death, that I shall take her to Venezuela, to another Venezuela. For my own country, with its leaders, its troops, with rented uniforms and deadly aim, threatens me with constant persecution. Um, for my own country, with its leaders, its troops, with constant persecution on the roads, in the tunnels, in the factories. But I still love you, my Venezuela. I have saluted you many times since the start of my disintegration. For you are also the days when I worked on the literary magazine, a group of men, and I, a wide-eyed, respectable boy, inspired by the poetry of Orduno, an ardent literary school that met in restaurants or on battered trolleys. My Venezuela, you are a piece of cassava bread as large as a shield and uninfested by insects. You are the flooded plains with bulls, mares, and jaguars being carried along by the swift current. And you, Eliza, I see you.
Elisa.
Lisa, I see you standing there. You and the Chinese laundryman who helped me, and in each memory, you seem more like Faustine. You told them to take me to Colombia, and we crossed the high plateau in the bitter cold. The Chinamen covered me with thick velvety leaves so I would not freeze to death. While I look at Faustine, I shall not forget you. And I thought I did not love you. I remember that when the imperious Valentin Gomez read us the Declaration of Independence on July 5th in the elliptical room of the Capitol. We, Orduno and the others, showed our defiance by turning to stare at it. Taito Salas's painting of General Bolivar crossing the Colombian border, but when the band played our national anthem, we could not suppress our patriotic emotion, the emotion I cannot suppress now.
Okay, so he's suddenly going on a tangent or rant about Venezuela's political situation. James, read on from there, but my rigid. Is James here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Looks like I muted. Okay, there we go. But my rigid discipline must never cease to combat those ideas, for they just jeopardize my ultimate claim. Calm. Jeopardize my ultimate. I can still see my image moving about with Faustine. I have almost forgotten that it was added later, for anyone would surely believe we were in love and completely dependent on each other. Perhaps the weakness of my eyes makes the scenes appear this way. In any case, it is consoling to die while watching such satisfactory results. My soul has not yet passed to the image. If it had, I would have died. I perhaps would no longer see Faustine and would be with her in a vision that no one can ever destroy. To the person who nails this diary and then invent a machine that could assemble disjointed presences, I make this request. Find Faustine in me. Let me enter the heaven of her consciousness.
It will be an act of piety.
It will be an act of piety.
So we leave the narrator fading. He's dying, but he's watching himself enact that week over and over again with Faustine, and he starts to forget that it's himself. So he's actually outside of his own life, watching his own life as he fades away from it, and he sees this romance between two images, basically. There's two completely disembodied images. Okay. And that's the invention of Morel. Let's move on to our SAT test. Same SAT test as yesterday. Number 7. So College Board number 7. Yesterday we did Silas Marner. Skip ahead 2 reading passages on number 7, College Board number 7. 2 reading passages to Why Birds Fly in a V Formation. Questions 22 through 31 on page 9. So College Board test number 7, page 9. Go ahead and start that right now. Anybody have an issue? Let me. I'll put it in. I'll put a link in the. Hold on. Maybe I can still do that. Where is the? Oh, I'm not on this one. Oh, geez. Okay, let me try it here. Give me a second. And anyone need the link? Because it's going to take me a second to get the link because I'm on the other computer.
I need it.
Okay, let me go ahead and do that. Everyone else, you can go ahead and start that College Board 7 SAT practice test, page 9, numbers 32 to 43, 22 to 31. Okay. Okay, give me a second. This computer is absurdly slow.
Is it the second one?
The third one, actually, 22 to 31. Don't even have it. Okay. For Monday, by the way, you will have a comprehensive vocabulary quiz. So for all the week's vocabulary, you will get one more set of vocabulary today, and there will be a vocabulary quiz on Monday, as well as a Morel, invention of Morel quiz. It'll be a combined invention of Morel and vocabulary quiz. Sorry, still waiting. Still loading. 7, I said, right? Okay. Actually, let me check this. Now, let's see. Okay, so there's the link. Sorry about that. Let me know if that doesn't work. And then we'll go over this in about 18 minutes.
Wait, what pages was it again?
9.
Oh, and it was number 7, right?
Yeah. The test number 7,
Yeah.
and then numbers 22 through 31.
Okay, thank you.
Please raise your hand when you're done. Couple more minutes. All right, let's go over these. Number 22. Hold on. Computer's a nightmare. Okay, number 22. The main purpose of the passage is to Annie.
C.
C. Explain research conducted. Hold on, I've lost the page again. Explain research conducted to study why some birds fly in a V formation. Correct. 23. The author includes the quotation, the air gets pretty unpredictable behind a flapping wing to what? Sorry, I can't even get the screen up again. James.
Huh?
Number 23.
Anything? A.
I can't even read this. Hold on. Okay, here it is. A, explain the current created by a bird. Explain that the current created by a bird differs from that of an airplane. Correct. 24. What can reasonably be inferred about the reason Usherwood used northern bald ibises as the subjects of his study? Joshua.
I didn't number my what
So
number?
24 should be the third one, I think.
Is it D?
D, the ibises were easily accessible. They were already doing a study on them, and they just piggybacked on that study. 25, which choice provides the best evidence for the answer to that question? That would be, 25 is C. 22 through 24. Let's read those. The study published in Nature took advantage of an existing project to reintroduce endangered northern bald ibises. So it was already happening, so they could just use some of that data. 26. Richard, what is the most likely reason the author includes the 30 centimeter measurement in line 30?
A.
To demonstrate the accuracy, the precision with which the data loggers collected the data. 27, correct, A. 27, what does the author imply about pelicans, storks, and geese flying in a V formation? Annie.
Wait, hold on, let me open it. Which C?
C, they create a similar wake to that of ibises, larger birds. Which choice provides the best evidence to that? That would be C, 52 through 54. Previous studies estimate that birds can use, no, that's not it. That's not the correct answer. 28. So the answer to 28 would be B. Sorry, I'm trying to go through 47 through 48. Smaller birds create more complex wakes that would make drafting too difficult. But for big birds like ibises, storks, pelicans, geese, etc. So 28 should be B. 29. What is a main idea of the 7th paragraph? James.
29. C.
C. Future research will help scientists to better understand V formations. Correct. 30. The author uses the phrase aerodynamic sweet spot in line 63, most likely to Joshua.
E.
D
Mhm.
suggests that a certain position in a V formation has the least amount of wind resistance. Optimal. Good. 31. As used in line 72, ripple most nearly means, Richard?
B.
B, spread. Spread through the entire flock. All right. Let's move on. Let me see. It's going to be hard to do too on this computer. Let me try to do, we're going to move on. We're going to do a play. I'm about to cast that play, but first I need to put a link in for you. Maybe I can get in. Let me try Zoom on the other computer. This computer just takes forever. I'm going to try Zoom one more time on this one, see if I can possibly get some audio here. I don't know what the issue was before. So I'm going to mute this one and speak on the other one to see if I'm able to swing this. All right, that's not working. Let me try this. Do this. So we're going to read Oedipus Rex, Oedipus the King. Here. So we need, first let me cast. Oh, wait. Can you hear me? Hold on, let me see this. So I came up here, sorry about this today. This is just okay, that didn't work. Let's try this. Okay, persona. This. I'm going to put a link in the chat for everybody now, because you shouldn't have this one. This one's going to be one that everyone's going to have to click on the link. Go ahead and click on that link. That is the play, Oedipus Rex. Oedipus Rex meaning king, Oedipus the king. And then I'm going to cast this play as soon as let's do this. Somebody let me know if this is not working for you. So let's do Oedipus, Joshua. Who's the other? Let me go back. Priest of Zeus. James. Creon. Richard. And Jocasta. Annie. And Chorus. Samuel. Okay. So Joshua is Oedipus. Priest of Zeus is James. Creon is Richard. Jocasta is Annie. Chorus is Samuel, and I will be any other bit players. This is our intro. Everyone good? No one needs help? This is our introduction to Greek tragedy.
Wait,
Greek tragedy is essentially the opening of literature in the Western tradition. Before the plays, but even these are part of an oral tradition. So there used to be epic poetry. And you would have a poet recite by heart, know these poems that get passed down from generation to generation. And then it started getting written down. And so now we had the scrolls, we have something written down, that's literature. We have Greek tragedy. And Greek tragedy is uber tragic, like really bad, like the worst stuff you can imagine. And this play exemplifies that. In this play, raise your hand if you know the story of Oedipus. Yeah, so you probably heard Oedipus, heard that name. Samuel's heard that name. You will hear it in literature, in the humanities, also in psychology.
Wait, I read this book for a different class.
Oh, you have read this, okay. So Samuel knows what's going to happen, knows how horrific the plot is of this play. And what's fundamental in this play is what's fundamental to a detective story. Maybe you're familiar with detective stories. It's a genre where a detective goes in and searches through things and becomes embroiled in the mystery. In this case, Oedipus has to find the murderer of the previous king. And he goes to great lengths to discover who it is, this great mystery, because something has happened in Thebes where there's a plague and things are going wrong. And when something's going wrong in Greek times, in ancient Greece, it's the gods are mad. So we've done something wrong. Some crime has been committed. And everyone thinks it's because of the murder of the previous king that was never solved. And so Oedipus finds out about this. Oedipus is the new king. We'll discover how he becomes the new king in a second, and has to find out who killed the previous king. And he's going to find out a lot of things that he doesn't want to find out. And I'll leave it at that. And we'll see as we go. So Oedipus the king. Oedipus. Go ahead. Oedipus the king. Suppliants of all ages. A suppliant is a beggar. And not a beggar, but in this case, somebody who is asking for help from somebody. Suppliants of all ages are seated round the altar at the palace doors. At their head, a priest of Zeus. To them, enter Oedipus. So the priest of Zeus is here to bemoan the situation of Thebes, to ask Oedipus for help. Things are going badly. There's plague, there's famine, everything's going wrong in Thebes, and he's going to ask Oedipus for assistance to save his city-state of Thebes. Go ahead, Oedipus.
My children, latest born to Cadmus old, why sit ye here as suppliants in your hands? Branches of olive filleted with wool. What means this reek of incense everywhere, and everywhere laments and litanies? Children, it were not meet that I should learn from others, and am hither come myself. I, Oedipus, your world-renowned king, Ho, aged sire, whose venerable locks proclaim the spokesman of this company. Explain your mood and purport. Is it dread of ill that moves you, or a boon ye crave? My zeal in your behalf ye cannot doubt. Ruthless indeed were I, and obdurate, if such petitioners as you I spurned.
Okay, so a couple notes on this. One, it's Oedipus. You're going to want to say Oedipus. It's Oedipus. Oedipus, Oedipus. Also, you're going to see Y-E-A-H a lot. Y-E-A. Actually, it's starting the very next word for the priest. Y-E-A is yea. Yea, Oedipus, etc. And the syntax, which is how a sentence is arranged grammatically, it's going to be a little bit different because this translation is going to be like an early 20th century, late 19th century translation, I think. Either way, it's a very dramatic rendition of the English language, which kind of twists and contorts language to make it more melodic. So we also want to listen to the way the words sound. We're going to pay attention to that this whole class. Okay, Priest, go ahead. Yay, Oedipus. And not yay. So yay is not, again, it's not yay, Oedipus. It's yay, Oedipus. Yes. Yay is yes. Go ahead.
Yea, Oedipus, my sovereign lord and king, thou seest how both extremes of age besiege thy palace altars. Fledglings hardly winged, and greybeards bowed with years, priest as am I of Zeus, and these flower of our youth. Meanwhile, the common folk with wreathed bows crowds our two marketplaces, or before both shrines with palace congregate, or where I don't want to say
Ismenus.
Ismenus gives his oracles by fire. For as thou seest thyself, our ship of state, sore buffeted, can no more lift her hand, foundered beneath a weltering surge of blood. A blight is on our harvest in the year, a blight upon the grazing flocks and herds, a blight on wives and travail, and rival, armed with his blazing torch, the god of plague hath swooped upon our city, emptying the house of Cadmus, and the murky realm of Pluto is full fed with groans and tears. Therefore, O king, here at thy hearth we sit, I and these children, not as deeming thee a new divinity, but the first of men, first in the common accidents of life, and first in visitations of the gods. Art thou not he who, coming to town of Cadmus, freed us from the tax we paid to the fell songstress? Nor hadst thou received prompting from us or been by others schooled, no, by a God inspired, so all men deem and testify. Didst thou renew our life, and now, O Oedipus, our peerless king, all we thy Voltaires beseech thee from some succor.
Succor means help, some assistance. Go ahead.
Some succor, whether by a voice from heaven, whispered or happily known by human wit. Tried counselors, methinks, are actors found to furnish for the future pregnant reign. Upraise, O chief of men, upraise our state. Look to thy laurels, for thy zeal of yore. Our country's savior, thou art justly hailed. O never may we thus record thy reign. He raised us up only to cast us down. Uplift us, build our city on a rock. Thy happy star ascendant brought us luck. Oh, let it not decline. If thou wouldst rule this land as now thou reignest, better sure to rule a people than a desert realm. Nor battlements nor galleys aught avail if men to man, and guards to guard them tail.
Okay, so help us. This is blight and plague, Oedipus. We're blighted. We're plagued. Come help us. You were the one, he says. He talks about the songstress, to the fell songstress, that he saved them to the fell songstress. That's how he became king. He answered the Sphinx's riddle. The riddle was the Sphinx was plaguing Thebes, and he answered its riddle and vanquished the Sphinx, and they made him king. All right, so I don't want to punish you for my tech issues. Let's take a quick break. Let's take a quick short 5-minute break, and we'll pick it up again at about quarter after, about 2:15. Okay, camera's back on. Let's move on with Oedipus. Joshua, go ahead. Oedipus. Ah, my poor children. So remembering that Oedipus was made king because he vanquished the Sphinx. Now, how he arrived, what he did to get there, that's what's going to be gradually revealed as we go on. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Joshua.
Ah, my poor children, known too well. The quest that brings you hither and your need, ye sick and all. Well wot I yet my pain, how great soever yours, out tops it all. Your sorrow touches each man severally, him and the none other, but I grieve at once, both from the general and myself and you. Therefore ye rouse no sluggard from daydreams. Many, my children, are the tears I've wept and dreaded many a maze of weary thought. Thus pondering one clue of hope I thought, and tracked it up. I haven't seen Monica's son, Creon, my consort's brother, to inquire of Pythian Phoebus at his Delphic shrine, how I might save the state by act or word, and now I reckon up the tale of days, since he sat forth and marvel how he fared. 'Tis strange, 'tis this ending carrying passing strange, but when he comes, then I wear base indeed, if I perform not all the good declares.
Okay, so he's saying, yeah, I know there's plague, there's famine, there's blight. Got it. So I sent somebody, Menecius' son, Creon. Creon is the brother of the queen so Oedipus marries the existing queen whose husband has been killed, right? And Creon is Jocasta, the queen's brother. So it's Oedipus's brother-in-law who he sent to the oracle at Delphi. So the oracle at Delphi in ancient Greece is who you go to when you need a mystery solved, when you have a big problem and you're like, what do I do? So you go to the Delphic oracle and you say, there's blight, there's famine, there's plague. What's happening? What's wrong? What did we do wrong? And what should we do about it? And the Delphic oracle tells you, gives you a very cryptic, riddling answer that can be interpreted any number of ways. It doesn't give you a straightforward, oh, this happened and this happened, you have to do this. It gives you this very poetic, riddling answer that you have to interpret and figure out. Okay, and so he sent Creon, and he's saying, I don't know where he is, what's taking so long. Go ahead, priest.
Okay. Thy words are well timed, even as thou speakest, that shouting tells me Creon is at hand.
Oedipus? Oedipus? Joshua?
O King Apollo, may his joyous looks be presage of the joyous news he brings.
Priest?
As I surmise, 'tis welcome, else his head had scarce been crowned with berry-laden bays.
We soon shall know he's now in earshot range.
Enter Creon. That's still Oedipus. Go ahead, Oedipus.
My royal cousin, say Menoetius' child, what message hast thou brought us from the god?
Good news for intolerable ills. Finding right issue tends not a good.
How runs the oracle? Thus far thy words give me no ground for confidence or fear.
If thou wouldst hear my message publicly, I'll tell thee straight, or with the pass within.
speak before all. The burden that I bear is more for these subjects than myself.
Let me report then all the god declared. King Phobos bid us straightly is to pay a foul pollution that infests the land, and no more harbor an inventory sore.
What expiation means he? What's amiss?
Banishment or the shielding blood of blood. This stain of blood makes shipwreck of our state.
Whom can he mean, the miscreant thus denounced?
Before though this did assume the helm of state, the sovereign of the land was Laulius.
So
I heard as much,
before
but
he was made king, the king was Laius. Go ahead, Oedipus.
Of Laius.
I heard as much, but never saw the man.
He fell, and now the god commands his plain. Punish his taker off. Whoe'er they be.
Whoe'er they be. So is the problem here is that the previous king was murdered. We never found out why. Nothing was done about it. That needs to be avenged. Go ahead, Oedipus.
Where are they? Where in the wide world to find the far faint traces of bygone crime?
In this land, said the god, who seek shall find. Who sits with folded hands or sleeps is blind.
Was he within the place? Was he within his palace or afield, or traveling when Laius met his fate?
Aboard, he started. So he told us, gone for Delphi, but he never thence returned.
So he says, where was he when he died? And he tells him, well, he was setting off to see the Delphic oracle, but never returned.
Came there no news, no fellow traveler, to give some clue that might be followed up.
But one escaped, who flying with dear life, could tell of all he saw but one thing sure.
And what was that? One clue might lead us far, with but a spark of hope to guide our quest.
Robbers, he told us, not one bandit, but a troop of knaves attacked and murdered him.
Did any bandit dare so bold a strike, unless indeed he were suborned from Thebes?
Salt was surmised, but none was found to avenge his murder mid the trouble that ensued.
What trouble can have hindered a full quest, when royalty have fallen thus miserably?
Writing Sphinx compelled us to let slide the dim past and attend to instant needs.
Okay, so when this murder happened, suddenly the Sphinx appeared. Do you guys know what a Sphinx is? Have you ever seen the picture of the Sphinx in Egypt? Like a giant laying on its paws with head of a woman man. It's kind of androgynous and a kind of mythical beast. And this mythical beast gave a riddle to the Thebans that somebody had to solve or it would continue to plague them. And it was plaguing them. So they left off their investigation of who killed the king. Go ahead, Oedipus.
Well, I will start afresh once again. Make dark things clear, right? Worthy the concern of Phobos. Worthy thine too, for the dead. I also, as it meet, will lend my aid to avenge this wrong to Thebes and to the god. Not for some far-off kinsman, but myself. Shall I expel this poison in the blood? For whoso slew that king might have a mind, who strike me too with his assassin hand. Therefore, in riding him, I serve myself. Up, children, haste ye, quit these altar stairs. Take hence your suppliant wands, go summon hither the Theban commons. With the gods' good help, success is sure. 'Tis ruin if we fail.
Exit Oedipus and Creon. So he says, all right, I'll figure it out. I'll find out. I mean, it was a long time ago. I wasn't here, but I'll figure out who did this foul deed and I'll take care of it. Remember that. Okay. Priest.
Come, children, let us hence. These gracious words forestall all the very purpose of our suit, and may the God who sent this oracle save us, rival, and rid us of this pest.
Exit priest and suppliants. Chorus. Now, chorus, I want you to read so you see STR.1. That means strophe, first strophe, and then down a bit, you'll see a line break, and then there's ANT, that's antistrophe. I'll read the antistrophe, you read the strophe, the STR part. So go ahead, chorus. Howard, Samuel.
Sweet voiced daughter of Zeus, from that gold paved Pythian shrine, wave to Thebes divine. What dost thou bring me? My soul is racked and shivers with fear. Healer of Delos here. Hast thou some pain unknown before, or with the circling years knowest a penance of yore? Offspring of golden hope, thou voice immortal, O tell me.
First on Athene I call. O Zeus-born goddess, defend. Goddess and sister, befriend Artemis, lady of Thebes, high-throned in the midst of our mart. Lord of the death-winged dart, your threefold aid I crave, from death and ruin our city to save. If in the days of old, when we nigh had perished, ye drave from our land the fiery plague, be near us now and defend us.
Me, what countless woes are mine, all their hosts is in decline. Weaponless my spirit lies, earth her gracious fruits denies. Woman's wail in barren throes, life on life down stricken goes, swifter than the wind bird's flight, swifter than the fire god's might, to the westering shores of night.
Wasted thus by death on death, all our city perisheth. Corpses spread infection round, none to tend or mourn is found. Wailing on the altar stair, wives and grandams rend the air. Long-drawn moans and piercing cries, blent with prayers and litanies. Golden child of Zeus, O hear, let thine angel face appear.
And grant that Ares, whose hot breath I feel, through without charger steel, he stalks whose voice is as the battle shout, may turn in sudden rout. To the unharbored Thracian waters sped, our Amphitrite's bed, for what night leaves undone, smit by the morrow's sun. Perisheth Father Zeus, whose hand doth wield the lightning brand. Slay him beneath thy levin bold, we pray. Slay him, O slay.
Slay that murderer, whoever it is. Oh, that thine arrows too, Lycian king, from that taut bow's gold string might fly abroad, the champions of our rights, yea, and the flashing lights of Artemis, wherewith the huntress sweeps across the Lycian steeps. Thee too I call with golden snooted hair, whose name our land doth bear, Bacchus, to whom thy Maenads Evoe shout. Come with thy bright torch, rout, blithe god whom we adore, the god whom gods abhor. Enter Oedipus.
Ye pray, 'tis well, but would ye hear my words, and heed them and apply the remedy, ye might perchance find comfort and relief. Mind you, I speak as one who comes a stranger to this report no less than to the crime, for how unaided could I track it far without a clue, which lacking for too late was I enrolled a citizen of Thebes. This proclamation I address to all Thebans, if any knows the man by whom Laius, son of Labdacus, was slain, I summon him to make clean shrift to me. And if he shrinks, let him reflect that thus, confessing he shall escape the capital charge. For the worst penalty that shall befall him is banishment. Unscathed he shall depart. But if an alien from a foreign land be known to any as the murderer, let him who knows speaks out, and he shall have due he shall have due recompense from me, and thanks to boot. But if ye still keep silent, if through fear for self or friends ye disregard my hest, hear what I then resolve. I lay my ban on the assassin, whosoever he be. Let no man in this land, whereof I hold the sovereign rule, harbor or speak to him. Give him no part in prayer or sacrifice or lustral rites, but hound him from your homes. For this is our defilement, so the God hath lately shown to me by oracles. Thus, as their champion, I maintain the cause, both of the God and of the murdered king. And on the murderer this curse I lay, on him and all the partners in his guilt. Wretch, may he pine in utter wretchedness. And for myself, if with my privity he gain admittance to my heart, I pray. The curse I laid on others fall on me. See that ye give effect to all my hest. For my sake and the gods, and for our land, a desert blasted by the wrath of heaven. For let alone the gods express command, it were a scandal ye should leave unpurged, the murder of a great man and your king, nor track it home. And now that I am Lord, successor to this throne, his bed, his wife, and had he not been frustrate in the hope of issue, common children of one womb, had forced a closer bond twixt him and me, but fate swooped down upon him. Therefore I, his blood avenger, will maintain his cause, as though he were my sire, and leave no stone unturned to track the assassin or avenge, the son of Lavicus, of Polydor, of Cadmus, and Agenor, first of the race. And for the disobedient thus I pray, may the gods send them neither timely fruits of earth nor teeming increase of the womb, but may they waste and pine, as now they waste. I am worse stricken, but to all of you, my loyal subjects who approve my acts, may justice, our ally, and all the gods be gracious and attend you evermore.
Okay, so that's his long-winded way of saying, if you did this, come forth, and I won't have you executed, you'll just be banished. But whoever did this, may there be blight upon you, etc., on and on and on. Okay, chorus.
The oath thou professedst, sire, I take and swear, I slew him, not myself, nor can I name the slayer. The quest twere well, methinks that Phobos, who proposed the riddle himself, should give the answer who the murderer was.
Well argued, but no living man can hope to force the gods to speak against their will.
May I then say what seems next best to me?
Oedipus?
No. I, if there be a third beast, tell it to you.
I like, if any man sees eye to eye with their lord Phobos, tis their prophet lord.
Tiresias. Tiresias is a blind seer, so he's a little like their very own Delphic oracle. He can tell the future and what's happened, and he can give them some knowledge.
Tiresias, he of all men, best might guide a searcher of this matter to the light.
Here to my zeal has nothing lagged for twice. At Creon's instance have I sent to fetch him, and long I marvel why he is not here.
So where is he? He asked for him, but he didn't come. And we're going to find out that Tiresias didn't want to come. Annie, can you put on your camera, please? Chorus, go ahead.
I mind me to rumors long ago, mere gossip.
Wait.
Tell them.
It won't scroll down for me for some reason.
Again, this one has no pages. Can anyone see page numbers here? I can't even see the pages.
Wait, I have to refresh it, but then I lost where I am.
Wait, if you want to find a specific part, you can do like Control F and just type in the line, and it usually can bring you to the line.
Wait, what does it start with?
Tell them.
Tell them comma.
Tell them I was saying no wrong.
Class said he fell by travelers.
So I heard, but none has seen the man who saw him fall.
Well, if he knows what fear is, he will quail and flee before the terror of thy curse.
Words scare not him who blenches not at deeds.
But here is one to arraign him, though at length they bring the God-inspired seer in whom, above all other men, is truth inborn.
Enter Tiresias, led by a boy. Tiresias is a quote-unquote seer. He can see into things as they are, as what's happened. Okay, go ahead, Oedipus.
Tiresias, seer who comprehendest all, lore of the wise and hidden mysteries, high things of heaven and low things of the earth, thou knowest. Though thy blinded eyes see not, what plague infects our city, and we turn to thee, O seer, our no defense and shield. The purport of the answer that the god returned to us who sought his oracle. The messengers have doubtless told thee how one course alone could rid us of the pest, to find the murderers of Laius, and slay them or expel them from the land. Therefore, begrudging neither augury nor other divination that is thine, O save thyself, thy country, and thy king. Save all from this defilement of bloodshed. On thee we rest. This is man's highest end. To others service all his powers to lend.
Oh, so we don't have a Tiresias, do we? I'll be Tiresias. Actually, Annie, you be Tiresias until Jocasta comes. Go ahead.
Alas, alas, what misery to be wise, when wisdom profits nothing. This old lore I had forgotten, else I were not here.
What ails thee? Why this melancholy mood?
Let me go home, permit me not. 'Twere best that thou shouldst bear thy burden and I mine.
For shame, no true-born Theban patriot would thus withhold the word of prophecy.
Thy words, O king, are wide of the mark. Mine for fear lest I too trip like thee.
Oh, speak, withhold not, I adjure thee. If thou knowest thy knowledge, why are all thy suppliants?
Aye, for ye all are witless, but my voice will never reveal my miseries or thine.
What then thou knowest and yet wilt not speak? Wouldst thou betray us and destroy the state?
I will not vex myself nor thee. Why ask thus idly what for me thou shalt not learn?
Monster, thy silence would incense a flint. Will nothing lose thy tongue? Can nothing melt thee, or shake thy dogged taciturnity?
Taciturnity being silence. So he won't answer. Very cryptic. Why isn't he answering? And he's ultimately saying, you don't want to know. So this is going to be this revelation that Oedipus is asking for. He doesn't realize what he's asking. Go ahead, Tiresias.
Thou blamest my mood and seest not thine own, wherewith thou art mated, no, thou taxest me.
And who could stay his choler when he heard how insolently thou dost flout the state?
Well, it will come what will, though I be mute.
Since come it must, thy duty is to tell me.
I have no more to say. Storm as thou wilt, and give the rein to all thy pent-up rage.
Yeah, I am wroth, and will not stint my words, but speak my whole mind. Thou methinks thou art he, who planned the crime A, and performed it too, all save the assassination, and if thou hadst not been blind, I had been sworn to boot. that thou alone didst do the bloody deed.
So now Oedipus is getting mad. This is his servant. This is his citizen. Tell me what the problem is so we can fix it. And he's saying, I'm not going to tell you. And he said, you did it, didn't you? You had something to do with this. If you weren't blind, Tiresias, ironically, as a seer, is actually blind. Go ahead, Tiresias.
Is it so? Then I charge thee to abide by thine own proclamation. From this day, speak not to these or me. Thou art the man, thou the accursed polluter of this land.
A vile slanderer, thou blurtest forth these taunts, and thinkst forsooth as here to go scot-free.
Okay, so Tiresias says, okay, it's you. You're the problem. You're the quote-unquote polluter of this land. So you're trying to find out who it is, who's the cause of all these problems. It's you, and you just don't know it. Go ahead, Tiresias. Yea, I am free.
Yea, I am free, strong in the strength of truth. Who was thy teacher?
Who was thy teacher? Not methinks thy art.
Thou, goading me against my will to speak.
What speech? Repeat it and resolve my doubt.
Didst miss my sense? Wouldst thou goad me on?
I but have caught thy meaning. Say it again.
I say thou art the murderer of the man whose murderer thou pursuest.
Thou shalt rue it. Twice to repeat so gross a calumny.
So he's saying straight out, Tiresias is telling him, you want to know who murdered the old king? You did. But Oedipus doesn't realize that he did, if he did. Tiresias, go ahead. Must I say?
I say thou... Wait, must I say more to aggravate thy rage?
Say all thou wilt. It will be but waste of breath.
I say thou livest with thy nearest kin, in infamy unwitting in thy shame.
Thinkst thou for I unscathed to wag thy tongue?
Yeah, if the might of truth can aught prevail.
Okay, so he's saying it's worse than that. So let's take a pause here. I say thou livest with thy nearest kin in infamy, unwitting in thy shame. So I'm going to give you a little backstory, which is going to come out later, but I'll tell you now. So Oedipus came to Thebes from, I forget where, we'll find out, somewhere else in Greece. And he left his home because a soothsayer, a seer, so there are all these soothsayers, sayers, oracles, who will tell you your future, who will tell you what fate is going to bring to you. And so a soothsayer comes when he's a small boy and the parents of this child, he was adopted, but he doesn't know this. But he was adopted, he was a foundling, he was found and brought to the king. And so the soothsayer comes and tells his parents, his adopted parents, because they want to know, what's the future of our son? What's he going to be, And he says, well, I'll tell you, this boy is going to grow up to kill his father and marry his mother. And Oedipus finds out about this. I guess this actually happens when he's a little older, when he's maybe late teens, maybe heading off to college. And he finds this out. So he goes off away, I've got to get away from, if I'm going to kill, because they take this as gospel, right? A soothsayer of ancient Greece. Somebody says this and you think, that's just how it is. Not like, all right, get out of here. I'm not going to kill my father and marry my mother. That's crazy. You say, no, I'm going to do that. So he leaves. He takes off. And now certain things are going to slowly dawn on him. That where does he leave? Remember, he's adopted. He's a foundling. Back in Thebes, the king and queen of Thebes, Jocasta and Laius, were told when their baby was born, they had the soothsayer come and give the future of the baby. And that soothsayer told them, your baby, this child, will grow up to kill his father and murder his mother. So, of course, Laius said, what? Oh, can't have that, because they believe it. It's gospel. All right, that must be how it really is. So he gives the child to a servant. They tell the servant, get rid of it. This kid is going to grow up to kill me and marry his mother. Just get rid of it. But instead of getting rid of it, he can't bring himself to leave it in the wilderness to die, which is what he's told to do, I guess. He goes off and goes far, far away, figures, okay, I'm so far away from here, then this child will grow up and will never know or anything, and leaves it with a messenger or a servant of the king of, again, I can't remember where it was. And so he is raised with that other mother and father. But he doesn't know this. He believes that he's the natural born son of that couple. So now, hopefully it's starting to dawn on you what has happened here. So he goes to flee the adopted parents, who he doesn't know are his adopted parents, because he's told that he'll kill his father and marry his mother. So he flees. And now let's start to see how this unravels. Oedipus, with other men.
With other men, but not with thee, for thou in ear would I in everything art blind.
Tiresias? Annie? Poor fool to utter.
Poor fool to utter jibes at me, which all here present with cast back on thee erelong.
Offspring of endless night, thou hast no power o'er me or any man who sees the stun.
No, for thy weird is not to fall by me. I leave to Apollo what concerns the god.
Is this a plot of Creon or thine own?
Not Creon. Thou thyself art thine own bane.
Okay, so he's saying, why are you saying this? How could I have killed? I didn't know the king. I couldn't have killed the king. Why are you accusing me? Are you plotting against me? Has Creon put you up to this? Because it was Creon who said, oh, go ask Tiresias. Tiresias will tell you the truth and help you figure this out. And so he's saying, oh, are you and Creon in league? Creon, remember, is Jocasta's brother. It's his brother-in-law. And as we'll see, the lineage means that it's not only his brother-in-law, but might also be his uncle. And so he's saying, oh, Tiresias and Creon seem to be in league against me because this is just nonsense that I killed the former king. Okay, go ahead, Oedipus, O wealth.
O wealth and empery and skill by skill, outwitted in the battlefield of life. What spite and envy follow in your train. See, for this crown the state conferred on me, a gift, a thing I sought not. For this crown the trusty Creon, my familiar friend, hath lain in wait to oust me and suborn. This mounted bank, this juggling charlatan, this tricksy beggar priest, for gain alone. Keen-eyed, but in his proper art stone blind, says Sirrah, hast thou ever proved thyself a prophet when the riddling Sphinx was here? Why hast thou no deliverance for this foe? And yet the riddle was not to be solved by guesswork, but required the prophet's art, wherein thou wast found lacking neither birds, nor sign from heaven helped thee. But I came, the simple Oedipus, I stopped her mouth. Thy mother wit untaught of auguries, this is the man whom thou wouldst undermine, in hope to reign with Creon in my stead. Methinks that thou and thine a better soon will rue your plot to drive the scapegoat out. Thank thy gray hairs that thou hast still to learn what chastisement such arrogance deserves.
To us it seems that both the seer and thou, O Oedipus, have spoken angry words. This is no time to wrangle, but consult how best we may fulfill the oracle.
Being as thou art, free speech at least is mine, to make reply, in this I am thy peer. I own no lord but Loxias, him I serve, and near can stand enrolled as Creon's man. Thus then I answer, since thou hast not spared, to twit me with my blindness, thou hast eyes, yet seest not in what misery thou art fallen, nor where thou dwellest, nor with whom for me. Dost know thy lineage, nay, though thou know'st it's not, and all unwitting art a double foe to thine own kin, the living and the dead. I and the dodging curse of mother and sire one day shall drive thee like a two-edged sword beyond our borders, and the eyes that now see clear shall henceforward endless night. Whither shall thy bitter cry not reach? What crag and all Citheron but shall then reverberate thy wail, when thou hast found with what a hymeneal thou wast born, home, but to no fair haven on the gale. And a flood of ills thou guessest not, shall set thyself and children in one line. Plug then both Creon and my words, for none of mortals shall be stricken worse than thou.
So he's saying, Oedipus is telling him, oh, so you're plotting against me, you blind old fool. And he says, oh, I'm blind? You're the one who's blind. Dost know thy lineage? Lineage meaning, where do you come from? Who are your parents? What line do you come from? And the flood of ills thou guessest not, that you could not imagine, shall set thyself and children in one line. So remember that the prophecy is you will kill your father and marry your mother. So then, if you kill your father and marry your mother and you have children, which Oedipus does have children with the new queen, who he has no idea about who she is, but then your children would be, his son would also be his brother. And his brother-in-law is his uncle, and lots of other twisted lineages. All right, Oedipus, must I endure?
Must I endure this fellow's insolence? A murrain on thee, get thee hence, be gone, avaunt, and never cross my threshold more.
Why that near had come hadst thou not bidden me.
I know thou wouldst utter folly, else long hadst thou waited to be summoned here.
Such am I, as it seems to thee a fool, but to the parents who begat thee wise.
What sayest thou, parents? Who begat me speak?
This day shall be thy birthday and thy grave.
Thou lovest to speak in riddles and dark words.
In reading riddles who so skilled as thou.
Twit me with that wherein my greatness lies.
And yet this very greatness proved thy bane.
No matter if I save the commonwealth.
'Tis time I left thee. Come, boy, take me home.
I take him quickly, for his presence irks, and let me gone. Thou canst not plague me more.
I go, but
Get out of here. Get lost. I've had enough of this guy. He's talking nonsense. Go ahead, Tiresias. Go ahead, Tiresias. I go.
sorry. I go, but first will tell thee why I came. Thy frown I dread not, for thou canst not harm me. Hear then, this man whom thou hast sought to arrest, with threats and warrants this long a while. The wretch who murdered Laius, that man is here. He passes for an alien in the land, but soon shall prove a Theban, native born, and yet his fortune brings him little joy. For blind of seeing, clad in beggar's weeds, for purple robes and leaning on a staff, to a strange land he soon shall grope his way. And of the children, inmates of his home, he shall be proved the brother and the sire of her who bare him son and husband both, co-partner and assassin of his sire. Go in and ponder this. If thou find that I have missed the mark, henceforward declare, I have no wit nor skill in prophecy.
So he lays it out for him. Okay, this is the man who murdered Laius. The man is here. He passes for an alien in the land. In other words, he's a foreigner. He's passing before people think he's a foreigner, but he soon shall prove a Theban native born. He was actually born there. And he tells his future. In the future, there's another play that goes on after this, Oedipus in Colonus, where he wanders away after everything comes to light. to a strange land he shall grope his way. And of the children, inmates of his home, he shall be proved the brother and the sire, the brother and the father. Of her who bare him son and husband both, a co-partner and assassin of his sire. So it's all right there. It's riddling, but it's not that riddling. I mean, he's kind of saying it literally, but Oedipus at this point still thinks he's just talking nonsense. It doesn't make any sense to him. Because in his mind, he is a foreigner. He fled the prophecy of his mother, the man and woman who he thinks are his mother and father. Okay, exit Tiresias and Oedipus. Chorus, strophe, 1. Chorus.
Who is he by voice immortal, named from Pythia's rocky cell? Doer of foul deeds, of bloodshed, horrors that no tongue can tell. A foot for flight he needs, fleeter than storm swift steeds. For on his heels doth follow, armed with the lightnings of his sire Apollo. Like sleuth hounds too, the fates pursue.
Yea, but now flashed forth the summons of Parnassus, from Parnassus' snowy peak. Near and far the undiscovered doer of this murder seek. Now like a sullen bull he roves through forest brakes and upland groves, and vainly seeks to fly the doom that ever nigh flits o'er his head, still by avenging Phoebus sped, the voice divine from earth's mid-shrine. We're going to stop there. I'm going to give you your vocabulary for this weekend. What did I do? Let me do. Okay. So I'm gonna do your vocabulary in the. I guess I'll do it on the whiteboard. See if this works. Today's the 16th or 17th? 17th. So here are your words. Okay, there's your 10 words. That's your homework for Monday. I'll leave this up. You will have, actually, let me get this full screen. So as soon as you finish copying this down, this is your homework. We will have a quiz on morel, the invention of morel, and the vocabulary on Monday, and I will see you then.